Good afternoon, everybody. Anthony Aniano here from RotoBaller Radio and rotoballer.com with your fantasy baseball waiver wire for week 19 of your fantasy baseball season. The week beginning Monday, July 29th. Now, full disclosure, recording this on Thursday, July 25th. So this is a weekend where a lot can happen, a lot can change as the Major League Baseball trade deadline approaches. Players can be moved, players can be promoted. If the reports are correct and multiple bullpen pieces are moved throughout the league, you can see players elevated or demoted from the closer position, so be mindful of that. That's why last week, for example, I mentioned A.J. Puck of the Miami Marlins, who could be next in line for saves if the Marlins decide to move Tanner Scott over the next couple of days. As always, we use Yahoo roster percentages as our talking points, trying to keep it at about 50% or more in terms of availability. So be mindful of that. So let's get into it on the hitter side of things. 4 hitters I want to mention here today. In the first one, New York Mets second baseman outfielder Jeff McNeil. Overall, a dismal season, but since the All-Star break, he is hitting .400 with 4 home runs, scorching hot since the return from the break. For the Mets, playing a little second base, platooning with Jose Iglesias there, and with Starling Marte out, also getting some play in right field. He's currently 28% rostered in Yahoo formats. Over the last 14 days, he's hitting .333 with 4 homers, 11 RBIs, 9 runs scored, hitting out of the 6 or 7 hole in that New York Mets lineup, raising his batting average to the season to .228 with 9 homers, 32 RBIs, and 42 runs scored. Last season, he had .270 with 10 home runs. Season before that, in 2022, when he led the league in hitting at .326, he only hit 9 home runs that season. So although the batting average is low, he's flashing some power of late, seems to be getting hot. His quote was, "I'm just trying to hit the ball harder." He doesn't strike out, never has, still isn't striking out a lot this year. It's only 12.5% on the season. Just wasn't making hard contact. Suddenly he's decided to swing harder. Seems kind of common sense to me, but he is reaping the rewards and having some success of late. The OPS on the season is still low, 649, but short sample it. When you have injuries around Major League Baseball like Christian Yelich and Julio Rodriguez, Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves, especially if you're looking for middle infield help, Jeff McNeil swinging one of the hotter bats in baseball, especially at that middle infield and as well as outfield eligible positions. Also available in the middle infield, take a look at Miami second baseman, shortstop eligible Xavier Edwards, 24 years old, rostered in only 16% of Yahoo leagues, makes him available in 84% of leagues. Over the last 14 days, Xavier Edwards is hitting .424, 4 RBIs, 7 runs scored, 4 stolen bases. No homers, not known for a power hitting profile. He is known for a high batting average and stolen base profile. He was hitting .330 in AAA this year at the time of his promotion. Last season in AAA, he stole 37 bases while hitting .295 in 78 Major League at-bats last year. On the season this year, 72 at-bats, he's hitting .361 with a .447 on-base percentage, 4 steals, 11 runs, 6 runs scored, a very good OPS of .864, hitting 7th mostly in that Marlins lineup. Doesn't strike out a ton at 16.5% of the time. If you're looking for a power splash, maybe Jeff McNeil is your Ozzie Albies fill-in. If you're looking for speed and batting average, it could be Xavier Edwards of the Miami Marlins. One other middle infield and outfield eligible player to mention is Tyler Fitzgerald of the San Francisco Giants. Shortstop, outfield, middle infield eligible as well, rostered in 30% of Yahoo formats, available 70% of leagues. Over the last 14 days, scorching hot, hitting .571, 4 homers, 6 RBIs, and 6 runs scored. On the season, hitting .323 with a .400 on-base percentage, 6 homers, 13 RBIs. At AAA this year, he had 8 home runs, so it's 14 total on the year, and a .310 batting average. He hits for average, gets on base 40% of the time, has 7 stolen bases at the major league level. The only downside to Tyler Fitzgerald is he does strike out more than anybody else I wanted to mention today at almost 29% of the time. He does have the second highest OPS of any of the players I'm mentioning here with an OPS of .1,002. Tyler Fitzgerald, middle infield, outfield eligible, hitting 6th or 7th for the Giants. And my final player to mention, the only player who's not middle infield eligible, and that's Juan Yepez of the Washington Nationals. First base, outfield, corner infield eligible. Rostered in 30% of leagues, available in 70% of Yahoo formats. Over the last 14 days, hitting .424, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 7 runs scored. Hitting .368 now on the season for the Washington Nationals with a .429 on base percentage. That gives him an OPS of 1,043, 1043, highest of anybody mentioned. Now, Yepez 2 years ago for the St. Louis Cardinals was a respectable .253 and 12 home runs, with 12 home runs in 253 at-bats. Last season was a lost season, hit about 180, struck out about over 30% of the time, or about 30% of the time. This season, back on track to where he was in that 2022, in terms that he's only striking out 19% of the time. He's got 2 homers, 8 RBIs, and 10 runs scored since getting the call from the Washington Nationals, with that .368 on base percentage and .429, 368 batting average and .429 on base percentage. Now, on to the pitcher side of things. First pitcher I wanted to mention came back from injury Wednesday night against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that's Robbie Ray. 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, picked up the win. Now, the first inning was ugly against the Dodgers. He gave up 2 hits batsmen, 2 walks, basically just gifted the Dodgers a run. Innings 2, 3, 4, and 5, perfect innings. 3 up, 3 down each and every time. He looked fantastic after that. Now, his rostership is a little higher than what I normally mentioned. In Yahoo formats, he's 54% rostered. So he's only available 46% of leagues. But if he's out there, go grab him. He's got a great start next week, Tuesday, July 30th, against the Oakland Athletics. Also available, Jose Soriano of the Los Angeles Angels. 21% rostered, available in 79% of leagues. Over the last 14 days, 10 strikeouts in 13 2/3 innings, 6.6 Ks per 9 innings. In those 13 2/3 innings, an ERA of 1.32 and a whip of 1.10. He's picked up 2 wins in each of those 2 starts. On the season now, he's up to 77 strikeouts in 95 innings pitched, 7.3 Ks per 9. His ERA on the season is 3.5, 3.51 with a whip of 1.17. Those numbers play over the course of the season. At 95 innings, it's kind of locked in. You start to believe in it. He's picking up wins for the Angels as well. 6 victories on the season. Batting average against for Soriano sits at a meager .215. His next start is Sunday, July 28th against the Oakland A's. And then next week, Saturday, August 3rd, a risky start potentially. Wouldn't have said that a month ago, against the New York Mets on Saturday, August 3rd. Up next, Simeon Woods Richardson of the Minnesota Twins, 18% rostered, available in 82% of Yahoo formats. In his last 2 starts, 12 strikeouts in 10 1/3 innings, with an ERA of 1.74 and a whip of 1.16. On the season now, 76 strikeouts in 88 innings pitched, 7.8 Ks per 9 innings. His ERA is nice. It's 3.27, and the whip plays at 1.11. All of those numbers play. Batting average against on the season plays at .220. I'm actually surprised Simeon Woods Richardson is only 18% rostered. 2-start week next week. Monday the 29th of July against the Mets is a so-so start, but a terrific start later in the week, Sunday, August 4th, against the Chicago White Sox. Now, 2 relievers to be mindful of, 2 closers who have taken over. First is Daniel Hudson of the Los Angeles Dodgers, 52% rostered, available in 48% of leagues. He's got 3 saves this week alone for the Dodgers. Fangraphs is listing it as a closer committee, but Daniel Hudson is emerging as the head of that committee as he's supplanted Evan Phillips for the closer role potentially for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's got 6 wins and 7 saves now on the season, does Daniel Hudson. Batting average against a minuscule 169. Striking out 28.8% of the batters he has faced this year in 41 1/3 innings pitched with an ERA of 1.52. If he's not available and you're still hunting down saves, you can go to Colorado. It's risky. We know the Rockies are terrible. They've churned out a couple of closers already this year, but up now for them is Victor Vodnik, the rookie. 5% rostered, so he's available in 95% of leagues. 6 strikeouts in his last 7 innings pitched. In those 7 innings pitched, he's picked up 2 saves for the Rockies with an ERA of 3.86 and a whip of 0.86. On the season now, 49 strikeouts in 54 and a third innings pitched. He's got 3 saves with 2 victories on the year. ERA is under 4 at 3.98. Like any Rocky pitcher, it's risky. That bullpen is in shambles. Like we said, it was Jalen Beeks just a few weeks ago. Now it's Victor Vodnik in the 9th inning whenever possible for the Colorado Rockies. So to recap, my Week 19 fantasy baseball hitters to add. First, Jeff McNeil, New York Mets. Second, Xavier Edwards, Miami Marlins. Third, Tyler Fitzgerald of the San Francisco Giants. And fourth, Juan Yepes of the Washington Nationals. On to the pitchers to add for Week 19 of the fantasy baseball season. 1, Robbie Ray, San Francisco Giants. 2, Jose Soriano of the Los Angeles Angels. 3, Simeon Woods Richardson of the Minnesota Twins. 4, Daniel Hudson of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And 5, Victor Vodnik of the Colorado Rockies. Folks, don't forget, head over to rotoballer.com right now. Sign up for any of our premium passes, whether it's baseball the rest of the way, your upcoming fantasy football season, PGA, NASCAR, basketball, sports betting, you name it, rotoballer.com has you covered, whether you want to play DFS or season-long formats. Like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Download the app. It's free. Take advantage of all of the RotoBaller's great products right there on your phone. Give me a follow on Twitter at @Aniano Fantasy, and we will see you next time right here on RotoBaller Radio.